All right. Thank y'all for joining us today. My name is Jessica Worthington. I am the director of the Office of Downtown Development. And today is for Thursday. Normally we do this the third Thursday of every month. We started this during the pandemic and we've been continuing it ever since. It's a great way to kind of touch base once a month, see what's going on, hear about updates from us and our partners, and just kind of learn new things. But we had a conflict last week. Some of y'all were with us in Athens for our disaster training. And, I know we make the plans, but sometimes, you just got to go with what works best on the calendar. So we kicked it back a week. It's not something we typically do, but we are here and we're excited that y'all are here joining us. So if y'all haven't done it again, Zoom, you guys should be muted. But, this is all about having a conversation and a dialogue. We want people to be able to ask questions and interact. So at any time you can either do the raise your hand function, which is at the bottom of the screen. It's called reactions. You can do that. Also, there's a new kind of like sensory thing that Zoom has. And if you put your hand up for long enough, it'll actually raise it for you. Isn't that pretty cool? I love it. So you can do that as well. And if you haven't renamed yourself, please take a moment to do that. You can do that by clicking on the three little dots at the top right-hand corner and clicking on rename and then adding your community's name after. So again, it's just a great way to be able to become familiar with each other, learn each other's names, as well as the communities that are here and participating. For those of you who may be new, I know we have a couple new people and I want to give y'all a minute to shout out and introduce yourselves and say hi to the group and tell us a little bit about you. I am going to personally start with calling on someone, Bolt. It's the coolest name I've ever heard. I'm super jealous. And if I ever have a son, I want to name him Bolt because that just is like the coolest thing ever. So Bolt, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are, what you're doing now.
All right. I'm Bolt Van Dossum. I live here in Moultrie. I was born here and then moved back after school and all that. And I live downtown, actually one of the loft apartments. And I joined the city of Moultrie probably 2 weeks, almost 3 now. And I'm just excited to be here. We're working on the Olympic. Carson Tyler's going to the Olympics, so we're working on that right now. Having a little parade for him on the 21st of next month. So
awesome. We're excited to have you, Bolt. And for anybody who is familiar with Moultrie, Amy has not gone anywhere. She's in the office right across from Bolt. Talked to her this morning. But Bolt is taking over those Main Street responsibilities. Again, just growing their team over there and being able to, help serve more people. So thank you, Bolt. We're glad to have you. Anybody else?
I'd like to introduce Laura Beggs. She was on the call last month, but we could not get the microphone to work. So I will let her introduce herself.
Yeah, I'm Laura Beggs, Main Street Coordinator. I was actually with the City of Thomasville Main Street back in 2010 to 2016 as the same title, and I left to be a stay-at-home mom, but now I'm back, and I'm so excited to be back with this great team. And I got downtown Thomasville in my blood.
Love it. We're glad to have you back. So, anybody else? I can't see everybody on one screen, so sometimes you just have to speak up if you want to speak up. Elizabeth, Ellen, anybody I need to shout out to? Or... Okay. And I forgot to introduce the rest of the team with us this morning. Ellen Hill, she is our Main Street Training and Compliance Coordinator. She's the person that keeps us all straight when it comes to Main Street compliance stuff and is the one that pulls everything together for our training. She is kind of like, part of my brain and helps keep me on track too. And then we have Elizabeth Elliott. That's the other part of my brain. And she is our Downtown Development Historic Preservation Specialist Coordinator. I don't know. Can y'all tell? It's been a while since I've done these introductions. I'm like, normally I can just rattle them off and I don't have to think about it too much, but I'm like, oh, where am I today? Okay. Our whole entire team is remote based. And so Ellen is in Valdosta, Elizabeth is in Noonan, I'm in Carrollton, and then we've got Ebony and Tess are out of the office and running errands today. So Tess is based in Macon and Ebony is based in Savannah. So a couple quick just reminders, things going on before I pass the buck over to Renee. National Main Street has their reporting platform. Now, you guys didn't have to do anything with that last year. We managed it all for you. Our team is still discussing what that's going to look like this year. But you will receive an email from National on this upcoming Monday saying that the platform is open and ready to be used. Ignore it for right now. They have made some changes and updates to the platform. We will be having a call with National to go through those updates and changes. So we haven't even seen any of that yet. But I know that they've told us, like, fair warning, if you don't want people messing with it just yet, you need to give them a heads up. So this is your heads up. Of course, we'll follow up with an email. But basically for right now, next week, you don't need to worry about it. We're going to come up with a plan, and we will, share that with y'all in the next month or so and kind of talk about what, y'all's requirements and commitment looks like for that. But as of right now, y'all just keep doing what you do. Just keep focusing on the good stuff. You've got your annual assessment kind of like guide and checklist and stuff like that. And if you feel like you need a little bit of guidance, Bolt, don't worry, we'll catch y'all up. But if you need any kind of like guidance or insight on anything else, any challenges you had last year, please feel free to reach out to us, Ellen especially. So other than that, I feel like everything's rocking and rolling over here. We had good participation last week at our disaster preparedness training. It was exciting. It was awesome. Emily, I don't know if you know this, but I had Spencer Hawkins from y'all's EMA with us. He was awesome. So great to have him in the room and to be able to he's just got this infectious energy about him. So that was really cool. And we're all excited about being in Thomasville next month. So Renee, why don't you talk to us about what's going on with GDA and anything we need to know about the upcoming Georgia Downtown Conference.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. So if you've missed my mini emails, conference is coming up in downtown Thomasville, August 26th through the 29th. We're so excited. Registration is still open. FYI, rates increase again on August 1st. So if you have not registered, I advise you to get that done, or you're going to pay a little bit slightly higher charges. We will put that registration link in the chat shortly. There's still space in some of the mini mobile workshops. And also, if you have registered and you have not selected your education sessions, please do so that we can make sure we don't exceed capacities. We don't want a lot of people just showing up at spaces that can only hold a certain amount of numbers. So if you already know which classes you like to take, go ahead and select those. And then if you want to make changes on site, you can possibly do that if they're not full. But we would like you to read the descriptions and pick those in advance if you can. Silent auction items. If you'd like to submit a silent auction item for the conference, this is a time where we take those items, we take bids, and 100% of those dollars raised go back into a scholarship. Many of you on the call that I noticed have received those scholarships from GDA to either attend National Main Street or our downtown conference. So those funds can be used for trainings, conferences, and such. So everything that you provide, it does benefit the program. So we ask that you do support the silent auction either provide an item or bring some dollars to buy some things at the conference. And lastly, something new that we're doing this year is showcase your city boxes. If you're not familiar with that, you can check the link that I'll put in the chat shortly, but it's going to be a 4-stack high structure that is constructed with the pictures that you're going to provide from your city. They have to be high resolution images. We'll provide you the link for the Dropbox. Once your box is paid for, you'll get that link. You can upload your pictures, and we take care of getting them fabricated for you. We will bring them to the conference. They will be displayed during the conference, and then you get to take them back home to your city after the conference. So if you'd like more details on that, you can shoot me an email. If not, to purchase those boxes, tomorrow is the last day. So, and we will not be taking any other purchases after 5 o'clock, because we have to make sure that the designer has enough time to get them all created before conference. So that is the window that they gave us. They need to have everything in and those pictures by the 1st of August. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll start putting those links in the chat.
Any questions for Renee or the Georgia Downtown Association board members that are on the call with us today? Renee, my question is, are you going to remind me what I signed up for? Because
well, after you
how's that going to work? Because you
well, I'll tell you something cool that we're going to do this year. When you print out your badge, when you get your badge printed out, there will be a second page that'll print out with your badge that should have the list of your classes on the back of it. That way people don't have to come up to us at registration and ask what we registered for. But we're always there to help you. So if you have any issues, any questions, want to make any changes, that's what we're there for. So.
Perfect. Yeah, I gave Ellen my list yesterday, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to remember what I'm signing up for.
We were told by IT that there will be a second page that's going to print out with the print. That's how convention does it. And so we're trying to follow along with GMA convention standards. And so that should happen this year. So
awesome.
Fingers crossed.
That sounds perfect. All right. Last call for questions for Renee or anybody else about the conference.
Ginger has her hand raised.
Oh, okay. Ginger.
Good morning, Renee. I have a question. With the classes, will it tell us if it's a class or a bus ride? Is it all in class?
So all of the concurrent sessions are in class sessions. Okay. Anything that says mobile workshop will be something that takes you away from the hub locations. And most of them are within walking distance. So there will not be transportation for those.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
So the mobile workshops are outside of your classroom setting. And then there's also some tours that will take place in the evening that you would be responsible to get to for those as well. But
okay,
everything is pretty much walking distance. So
thank you.
Okay. We're so excited to see everyone there. Emily just put in the chat, we're excited to see you all in Thomasville.
It's gonna be great.
We're excited.
So exciting.
Comfortable walking shoes. And one last thing, Jessica, I'm sorry. There will be a Know Before You Go that's going to go out to everyone. We're working on that now. It will have some extra details in it as well. So be on the lookout for that. And Abigail just reminded me there's still swag available for purchase. So if you would like to order, you can still order your swag until a certain date in August. We haven't put that date out yet. But we will shut that off so that we can make sure we pull the correct information. I will bag up everyone's purchase that pre-ordered, and we'll have those for you at registration. So when you register, make sure you pick up your swag purchases that for anybody that pre-purchased. And then anything that we potentially run out of, we'll have to do some additional orders. But it looks like y'all are buying swag already. So keep it going.
Y'all always have the best swag too, so that's exciting. All right. One more time. Any more questions? Oh, morning, Tracy. Thank you. So traditionally we do webinars every other month or so, and we have in the past been using the GoToWebinar platform for those. And the GoToWebinar platform is amazing. It's incredible. It's got all these bells and whistles, but the challenge is that it's not the best for like the interaction, right, that you can get from Zoom. And so when we were rescheduling third Thursday to this week, what we wanted to do was kind of merge the webinar that we had planned with today's third Thursday. So again, having an opportunity to hear from some managers about some cool things that they're doing, but also be able to have a dialogue and ask questions and all that kind of stuff. So Ellen, why don't you talk a little bit about like what we're going to cover today and like how we came to kind of settle on this idea?
Yeah. So good morning, everybody. So last year when we were doing maybe 2 years ago when we were doing our in-person assessments, because we were down in South Georgia, like Macon area too. We had this idea to have this webinar because we were talking with Jennifer, we were talking with Emily about, things that were going on in their programs, and they had some really like interesting ways to make money without putting a lot of effort into it. And so when Jennifer was giving her annual assessment presentation, we were like, oh my gosh, you need to do a webinar on this, because they actually have a storefront within a store, within a storefront. So, and they sell their swag there. It's really cool. And so we were like, you absolutely need to come and talk to the network about this. And we probably should have done it way sooner than this, but here we are, almost 2 years later, getting this information out to y'all. And actually same conversation with Emily and how, you can make money for your program, have those diversified funding streams with little effort, because we know that all of you guys have such busy work lives. You don't want to be spending all of your days trying to figure out revenue streams when, it's just something you can do that's really easy. And, people love swag anyway. And we were literally just talking about swag and how wonderful it was. And so that's kind of where Jennifer's just going to kind of lean into, but just easy ways to have those diversified funding streams where you're not just relying on like city general funds or grant money. So that's what we're going to learn about today.
Awesome. All right, Jennifer, we're going to let you kick it off.
I had to get unmuted. So good morning, everybody. My name is Jennifer Price. I am the Main Street Director for the City of Hahira. I'm excited to be here this morning and just talk about some of the great things we have going on in Hahira. Also here with me is Kayla. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Kayla. I am Jennifer's assistant, and I will work with her at the city, and I've been here since January of this year.
So Kayla's brand new, and we're breaking her into all the amazing things happening on Main Street. Also, Kayla currently serves as the tech guru for the department. So she may have to help me a minute, but I'm just going to dive right in to this so I don't take up more time than I need to. If it works. No, how about space? No. We're trying. Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll just start with what was the big idea for Hahira. So I will preface this entire presentation with, when I came into the Main Street program for the city of Hahira, it was brand new, a baby, barely 12 months old. The current director then transitioned out. I transitioned into her role and actually accepted the position on March 13th of 2020. And March 16th of 2020, that Monday, the entire country shut down for COVID. So I was handed a different dynamic for this program, but looking back on it, it has been an incredible journey and experience to learn how to navigate the program from that side and then transition back into what we consider a normal Main Street program. So with everything going on with the pandemic in the country, we were trying to figure out ways to not only build the program, keep the program, the steam that we had for the program, keep that moving down the tracks, but also ways that we could market the program passively. If somebody has on a Hahira t-shirt, Hahira, the name Hahira is a topic of discussion in itself. So if you see this name on a t-shirt, you know, how do you say that? Where is that? So we knew that we wanted to leverage just the unique name for Hahira. So we talked to people in the community. If we were going to create swag, what would you guys like to see? And of course, it was the standard t-shirts, hats, bags. Very simple to kind of launch the program. We started this at City Hall. There was a little corner, and there are pictures of that coming. There was a little corner downstairs in the clerk's office that we hung these shoe racks in, that we stored the t-shirts in to begin with. And it got to the point even the clerk couldn't keep up with the people that were coming in to buy this swag. So as we continued to deeper into this retail section, we realized that there was an opportunity for people to make personal purchases, gifts, souvenirs. We had real estate agents that were coming in when they sold a home in Hahira. They were looking for Hahira oriented gifts to give the new home buyer. And so it really has just expanded into this incredible opportunity for the Main Street program, but also as a service for the community members, people visiting, people who visited Hahira or maybe lived here and are gone now. And it's a diversified revenue stream. You know, we all need money for our programs. I personally never like to hear, no, you can't have that. No, you can't buy that. And so I will always look for ways to make money for the program outside of what my annual budget is. So like I said, we originally started in City Hall in this little corner with a shoe rack, clothes rack, something of that nature. It was very limited space. We knew if we could increase the area, we could diversify offerings. The city clerk, God bless her, she told somebody one time, I don't know how much longer I can keep selling t-shirts. I feel like I work at Walmart. So we knew that we had to make an adjustment to offering the merchandise at City Hall. In addition to offering the merchandise Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, we would also pack up this merchandise, t-shirts, hats, bags, every Friday and take it with us to whatever downtown event we had going on. So that also became very cumbersome to have to pack everything up Friday, take it with us, unpack it for the event, pack it back up, bring it back into the office Monday, unpack it so that the city clerk could access these things easily when people came in looking for merchandise. Of course, so shopping hours were limited to that 8 to 5, and we wanted to continue to provide the opportunity to the community to have access to this merchandise. If it's not there for purchase, you can't sell it, you can't make money off of it, right? It just collects dust. So as you can see on the left-hand side, that was our little corner. And we were so proud of that little corner and the organization that we had going on there. I think it started off small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, and then sell shirts were at the bottom. We did end up the center picture taking over 2 of the clerk shelves because we were having to order so many t-shirts. And then to the right, that was a quick picture at a Saturday morning set up with the prior assistant to the program, just to kind of get that merchandise out there. So in 2022, we reached out to a local business owner that had, she still operates this business. She has, it's a French market style business, and she will rent these smaller sections or whatever you need in her retail shop to local entrepreneurs who just want to try their hand at business before they dive off into being a total business owner of their own with all of this overhead. So in this brainstorming of this retail section, we reached out to her and said, hey, what do you think? You know, we don't want to overstep bounds by bringing a city program into a local business, but if we paid you rent, you treated us just like a customer or another vendor in your space. We want to pay you that rent. We want to pay you the percentage of sales, but we need help managing this program. Is this something you would be interested in? So that's what she said, absolutely, come down, let's talk about it, let's look at a couple spaces. And so that's what we did. By relocating, we were able to expand, of course, and we offer more than just hats, t-shirts, and bags now. We have, like the list says, we have housewares, we have aprons, we have books, we have stickers, candles, pillows, anything Christmas ornaments at Christmas time, bee stamps, wax things, all the things that are related to the honeybee. It also took a huge responsibility off of the clerk by moving this down to a French market. There is a paid employee in this business, and part of her job is to clean booths, organize booths, make sure that they're presentable for customers. And we also still go down once a week to look at the section. We a couple times a year actually take everything off of shelves. We clean, we dust, we reset. But this just offered the opportunity for us to be able to focus more on things that were going on in the office and the day-to-day responsibilities of the program, because all of you know there's a lot of moving parts to this program, but we're still making money down there. In addition, it provided an opportunity for us to help promote that business. We did have a couple business owners who came to us and said, hey, why not us? Why didn't you choose us? And the answer was very simple. You don't offer the same setup that she does in her store. Do you have a space for rent? And are you willing to keep up with inventory, manage the sales, and write us a check at the end of each month? And typically there were no follow-up questions to that, because small business owners are busy enough also. Not only did this help us, but we were also asking this local business owner to take on another responsibility by having to help us manage the inventory and the money that was owed back to the city by way of sales. It also provided extended shopping hours because the store's open past 5, but then also a Saturday shopping day. Not everybody in the community can always make it downtown during the week. And so by having that option on Saturday, people were able to go in and actually shop the section in this store. So in talking about the responsibilities of the business owner, I will add the Main Street program is responsible for ordering, and we maintain our own inventory. We price, and we also promote the offerings on social media. The store owner will share our post from Hahira Happenings, which is our downtown page, but she is not responsible for any of those things. So this was where we ended up, and we are actually I said I was going to finish with this, but we are actually relocating over today and tomorrow. This business owner has completely redone their business concept and plan, and so we get to move the entire retail section, but hey, it's time to clean and dust anyway. But as you can see, as outside of t-shirts and hats and bags, we are able to offer hand towels and little signs that make great gifts. We reached out to a candle company who allowed us to personalize labels, choose the candle scent we wanted, and then personalize the labels. The pillows that make great accent pillows and gifts for people. We find that during Christmas, we sell a lot of these home accents because they're just easy pickup gifts. And just like in your town, if you live there, you love where you live. And so people want all things Hahira in their home. A quick revenue review. So in 2021, 16% of the total program revenue came from just retail merchandise, and that was at City Hall. By a simple expansion, we increased that percentage by, 6%? And I mean, so you're talking almost a quarter of our program revenue that we bring in each year is just from a retail space that we go down and check on once a week. And when you order inventory, you know, it's kind of like shopping too. I get to get that fix of shopping and order all the fun things. And in 2023, we also saw a 1% increase from that retail space. I have not looked at the numbers for 2024 this year. My goal is to maintain somewhere between 20 and 25% with this retail space. I would consider that absolutely successful for the program. We would never expect the retail space to carry half or over any part of this program, but to have that additional revenue stream coming in has been incredible for downtown Hahira. So that's what I have. If you have any questions about how we launched it, what we do, how we market, how we choose inventory, etc., I think we'll tackle that at the end of the presentation. Just write your questions down and I'll be glad to answer them.
No, we can do them now, Jennifer, if people have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to stop sharing screen, we can dive
Let
into
me
it a
get
little
my
bit.
tech guru. Okay, there we go.
All right. You guys can just unmute yourselves, if you want to ask a question.
And if you said this and I missed it, do you guys sell online as well? And if you do sell online, then do they just pick up or can you ship?
Hi, Miss Kim.
Good to see you. Great job. I love this.
Thank you, Miss Kim. So actually we do not have like an online retail shop. I think that is something we could look at in the future, with some other plans that would involve a rearranging of the retail area. Currently, we advertise online. If somebody comments and says, and we advertise all of our products, not just our t-shirts, not just our hats. When we get, a new inventory order in, we want to share that with the community. And we do have people say, hey, can I order online? We actually just have them message us privately on the Hahira Happenings page. We sell them the item, they Venmo us the money, we turn it in as retail so that can be calculated into the amount of retail we sell each year. And then we just ship it out to them. Just simple.
Fernanda, I see you, Rosemary. I'll get to you second.
So we've had a few folks make, I guess, Pembroke items. How do you work with or compete, I guess, with folks who make their own?
So of course we have shops in town that carry Hahira t-shirts or sweatshirts or things like that. I guess I look at it as there's enough to go around. I'm not going to compete with the businesses that I'm also responsible for as the Main Street director, if that makes sense. I just try to steer clear of what their offerings are. And I do that out of respect for them in hopes that would be reciprocated. So if they've got a huge, bright, colorful sweatshirt for the fall, I go a totally different direction. I don't want to take business from them. And then I also don't want them to take business from me. But understanding they are not a specialized retail area for the city. They may have a couple items geared towards the city that you're in, but the Hahira retail section is for Hahira specifically. So I don't even feel like there's an opportunity for competition in there. I hope that makes sense.
Rosemary.
Yes.
Thank you. This is so great. I heard you at one of the conferences I've been to, and you were so helpful to me. I have a couple questions. One, when it comes to design, do you use like Canva or a local artist? And two, how did you get a city Venmo? I get a little pushback sometimes from our finance person, so I'm curious how you make that happen.
So as I stated earlier, I'm not really good with the word no. Initially, when I brought up Venmo, they were like,
exactly.
Oh, what? Oh my gosh. So what we did was we just brought in the auditing people that the finance director uses and works with, and we all sat down and had a conversation about what this would look like for the city. The Venmo is not attached to me personally at all. It is attached to a work telephone number. I also have the finance director on the account along with my work email. And so all the money funnels through that City of Hahira Venmo. She has access to it. She can log in at any time and see what's going on with it. And then when the reconciliations happen, we just make sure if we turn in Venmo money, it says Venmo payment and exactly what it was for. We print the itemized like transfers and money that comes in that Venmo provides you. We just turn in all that paperwork. It does increase a workload. It absolutely does. But I think that as we continue to move forward, things change and workloads do get increased sometime. I didn't just pin a workload on one person. I absolutely took on another job myself to better the community. And so I approached it as can we all work together on this? Let's just try it and see. If Venmo doesn't work well for Hahira, we can discontinue it and go back to the old ways. And I guess so we've been using Venmo for 3 years now, and it's fine. We're doing okay.
Great.
So Jennifer, I was gonna say, just to clarify, if they're buying something from y'all, they're using Venmo, but if they're buying something in the other shop, that's going through their point of sale system, correct?
That is correct. And we have some people who reach out to us directly for purchases, and we don't mind handling that. But the majority of the sales do go through the store, and she handles all of the sales, the rent, the commission, and then she cuts us a check at the end of the month, and we turn that in as retail to the Main Street program.
Right.
And then as far as
Yeah, go ahead.
design, I mean, sometimes I have a great idea, and then sometimes I'm just dead on the vine, right? So Google, Pinterest, your assistant, your kids. I have a teenager who's up and up on all the trendy things.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that helps.
So I ask her, and then we send it over actually to an incredible community partner in Adel, who helps us design, pick colors. It's so funny, at Independence Day, I sent her an idea and I was like, I have no idea, I'm tired, help me. And she sent me something back. We went back and forth a couple of times, and then she said, okay, you still have to pick t-shirt colors. And I said, I can't, I need your help. So just make sure you build those relationships with the people who are willing to help you throughout this process. They're great to lean on when you need them.
Right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I did see a question come in about Venmo on the chat, and now I can't remember what it said.
It was just Abigail from Noonan. She was asking if you use Venmo for purchasing or for people purchasing, but I feel like we've covered it.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And I will say too, I feel like kind of just tagging on to what Rosemary was saying and asking about like the design process and stuff. Like one of the things I love is like y'all have a very appealing design aesthetic. I know not everybody's had the opportunity to go to Hahira and see their like swag in person and stuff, but y'all definitely have this like unique
from Perry. What about copyright?
Unique brand and appeal, and I feel like that adds to the desirability of the products. I think Andrew was asking about like copyright and stuff like that.
Copyright as far as what? Like we don't take designs from anybody. We've not copied a design thus far. We will look at designs and say, okay, we like this or we like this. And we will send ideas and suggestions over to the designer and say, this is what we're looking for. Can you help us with this? And honestly, she probably knows more about copyright than I do. So she will actually recreate stuff for us. And that's probably why copyright. But as far as taking somebody else's designs or ideas, we don't do that. We use it as inspiration, if you will.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to tap in Emily just because I want to make sure we have enough time for our second speaker. Thank you so much, Jennifer, if you don't mind hanging around in case we have any more questions at the end.
Great. Well, thank y'all. I'm really excited to do this today and talk about some of the things that we do at Newtown for our diversified streams of revenue. But I think of this as passive-ish income because, there's still a ton of work that goes into a lot of these revenue streams up front or something like that. But the way to look at it, I think, is that it becomes mission-driven revenue generators. So anytime you can do something that's supporting your mission and also generating revenue for your program, that's a really incredible match made in heaven and a great way to approach it. But just so y'all have a little bit of background about Newtown, we are a little bit different from a lot of the Main Street programs in our network. We are an independent nonprofit. Less than 2% of our budget comes from our local municipality. So we fundraise most of the money that we have as an organization. So we have a lot of different ways we do that. We're a community development financial institution. So we make money off of interest from loans that we give out. We're a business improvement district. So we do earn some tax dollars, but all of those are reinvested into our downtown district. Of course, we're a Main Street program, and we help fundraise and build our Riverfront Scenic Trail. And this just gives you an idea of how these things fit into the 4-point approach, all these different items that we really are focus areas that we use, and we have volunteer boards for each of these individual programs that lead the revitalization of downtown Macon. So jumping right into passive income, I think the only passive income that is truly passive is investment accounts. So this is definitely an opportunity to take the money that you have and make money off of it by putting it somewhere where it's going to yield more interest. And right now we have some incredibly high interest rates. So this is a great opportunity to take advantage of the high interest rates. I was just looking at it before this presentation, and high yield savings accounts are at 5%. So this is a great way to just put your money where it's going to make you more money. That's something we're looking at right now at the Georgia Downtown Association, moving some of our dollars into a high yield savings account or a CD, so that we can make those membership dollars stretch further and work harder for all of you, so we can offer more services to our members. I'll also say, if this is something you're interested in, if you have a nonprofit arm or you are a nonprofit, this is a great opportunity to engage your board members to help with this process. Definitely use their expertise to help identify how much you should be putting in there, and what are the best accounts that are going to yield the most return for sure. One thing that we recently took advantage of at Newtown that I think is relevant for everyone here is the Georgia Fund 1. So this is available for municipalities. And the idea is that it's an investment account that has minimal risk, but it also provides a lot of oversight for those taxpayer dollars, so that you're able to have money sitting in an account that can generate more interest. So we did this with our business improvement district. As I said, we are property owners in downtown Macon, pay extra taxes to be in downtown, and then that is reinvested into our district. So to be good stewards of that money, we wanted to be sure we could earn as much as possible. So we put some aside in this Georgia Fund 1 account, which is a tongue twister, but we had to go through an approval process to be able to do that. So you can go Google Georgia Fund 1, find all the information about any resolution you'd have to go through for that. And through that, we're going to get an extra $20,000 that we can use to improve our downtown district, just from those investments alone. So that's kind of the boring stuff. And I'm definitely not a CFO or anything like that. So can't answer any more specific questions necessarily about that. But again, I think that if those are the kind of things you're interested in, it's a great opportunity to engage your board members as well, to help you investigate those options. Another way that we diversify our revenue income streams is through investing in downtown property. So this is definitely one of those examples of doing something that's mission driven and also generating income for your program. So we have 6 properties in our portfolio with 66 loft units and about a dozen storefronts, and all of these generate rental income for us. So every year, our rental properties generate about $350,000 for us in income. So this is a great way to generate that income, but it also serves a wonderful purpose of fixing up a building in your downtown, restoring it to its best and highest use, so that you're contributing to the number of residents who are living in your downtown by redeveloping it with loft units, and also creating that storefront space for new businesses to move in. And one thing when it comes to thinking about, if you want to get into the property development game, think about how you can maximize your storefronts. That's something that we've done at Newtown. Anytime we have an opportunity to redevelop a property, we try to look and see, is there a new concept that we want to deliver to the Macon market that we have a little less risk than a normal property developer or entrepreneur would have to try a new concept in downtown. And so we did that by creating a co-working space in one of the buildings that we redeveloped, which is currently our office, but then we needed more space for our employees and things like that, and then moved our co-working space to another building that we redeveloped on 3rd Street. And so it's a pretty small footprint in terms of the storefront and the co-working space. But the great thing about this is that we have these hot seats. We probably have about 12 hot seats at any given time where people can pay $100 membership. They get access to the space. So a lot of people use it to meet with clients. They can work there. But what we found is that most people don't really come and sit here and work all day in this co-working space. Really what they want this space for is meeting space and a mailbox to have that more official address than a home address. And so we have about 40 coworkers in this small space, even with those 12 hot seats. And really our only limitation for the number of coworkers we can have is the wall space we have to put up mailboxes, because that's how people are using this space. So that's a really great way for us to maximize our rental rates for this storefront that we've redeveloped. And also think about your facades and how you can monetize those. So we own the Biv Theater, which is right next to that co-working space I just mentioned. And we're in the process of, we've already stabilized the building. We're in the process of potentially redeveloping it and recruiting an entrepreneur to work with us on this property. But in the meantime, we're starting to rent out the marquee for people to put messages for photographs or anniversaries or birthdays or wedding photos and that sort of thing. And we're going to rent it out for $250 a week. And so we price that, again, knowing that sometimes this isn't always passive, that there is work that goes into this. We price it based on the amount of time it would take our construction manager to actually put up the sign, and what would make it beneficial for us to run a program like this, to manage it, and everything like that. And then finally, going into kind of what Jennifer was saying, is really using passive income and getting creative so that you can turn your promotion efforts into profits. That's something that we've done with our downtown photo booth, which is an example we talked about in our annual assessment. And this has been an incredible experiment, I will say, for us in downtown Macon, because we weren't really sure how this was going to go. We initially had some pushback on whether or not we should actually put this photo booth out, because as you can imagine, it might be something that you would experience if you wanted to put out a photo booth. People were concerned about it being a place where some nefarious activity could happen, or just, you know, people hanging out, not using it appropriately, vandalism and all those kind of things. But we really wanted to try it and see if it could work. And it has been great. We have had zero issues with this photo booth, zero problems, and it's become an incredible revenue stream for us as well, and brought in over $10,000 last year for us, with just people doing these $5 photo strips. And it's another great thing, because when people take this photo strip, we put our downtown logo on it. And so now they have that souvenir that reminds them of their time in downtown. And what we've seen is that people will actually post about this. So I love this example of Shovels and Rope. They were headlining our music festival that happens in Macon every summer. And that's how they posted that they were in Macon. They took photos of the photo booth and then posted a picture of their photo strip on social media, which was really fun to see people interacting with that and engaging with it. But this is something I think that a lot of people can do. It's a really, really great deal, I'll say, in terms of the photo booth and the guy who has been setting these up across the state. His name is David Johnson. That's his contact information. He would love to work with all of you if you want to bring a photo booth to your downtown. But the way that it works, he pays for all of the costs 100% upfront. So he will come and deliver the photo booth to your downtown. And then he handles all the maintenance from there on. Sometimes I do have to go and reset the photo booth, but he provides instructions to do that. But he's really great about coming pretty regularly and visiting all of his photo booths just to check on them, restock them with printer paper, and be sure that they're running as they should, and handle any of the maintenance that is not as easy as just resetting it. But 99% of the time, you just need to reset the photo booth if you run into any issues, and it's very easy to do. But if this is something you're interested in doing, you need to find a location and work on those permissions. So we did not have to go before our county commission to get permission to put this in our public spaces. It was just something that was done at staff level. And the way we worked it out was, let's try it for a month, be sure it's not going to create any problems or be an issue. And then if it's good, we'll leave it there until it needs to be replaced or we decide to do something else with that space. When you're determining your location, you definitely need to be sure it's in a high traffic area, because that will help with some of those concerns of how it could be used by people. So you want to be sure it's a place where there are a lot of eyes, but then that also is going to certainly help you have more people using it to take photos and to pay that $5 for that photo strip, so that you can make money for your program. You just need a power source to plug it in. And from there, David handles the rest with installation and how it needs to be done. And then the way that he delivers it is just a blank space. So it doesn't have the decoration like we have in ours. That's something that you handle as the person who installs it. So this is all painted by a muralist who is in Macon. So all of that's paint, but you could definitely get somebody to wrap it with a vinyl if you wanted to go that option. And our photo booth's been out for 3 years and it still looks great. It's really held up well. And so the maintenance is pretty minimum as well. But David's a great person to work with. I highly recommend. And it's definitely one of those things that once you get that approval, figure out that location and put it there, it requires very minimal effort on your part from then on out. And then my final example is our Hype Hounds approved program. So y'all might be familiar with our Hype team and our Hype Hounds program. So our Hype Hounds are dog influencers, dog owners apply to be part of the Hype Hounds team. And so from there, they are required to post twice a month photos of their dogs enjoying things in downtown and share the message that downtown is a dog-friendly destination. So we wanted to, that's something we're constantly trying to promote, that Macon is very dog friendly. We have as many dogs living in our downtown lofts as humans. So a lot of our businesses are very dog friendly in terms of our retailers, all of our outdoor patios. And so we wanted to create a branding opportunity for that, to print decals where businesses could show that they allow dogs and tie that into our Hype Hounds approved program. So rather than just figuring out a list of businesses that are dog friendly, we created this into a way to generate revenue so we could at least cover the cost of the program. So we have a sponsor, Good Boy Goodies. She is amazing. She makes dog treats and sells them all over the state. So if you've ever seen them, definitely support her. She's a really incredible entrepreneur here in Macon. But we also charge our businesses $25 a year to participate in our Hype Hounds approved program. And that gets them a decal that they can put in the window of their business, or if they're an outdoor patio, outdoor cafe, we have a sidewalk decal they can put there so it doesn't create confusion that dogs are allowed in restaurants and that sort of thing. And then we list them on the website and give our Hype Hounds a list of all of our Hype Hounds approved businesses so that can help them with knowing what businesses to help promote through their social media posts that they do. So this is something we're actually launching next Friday at our August 1st Friday event. So we're doing a pup cup crawl to kick it off. And then people can go around and see all of our Hype Hounds approved decals at participating businesses. So with that, those are just a few examples of ways we've been creative, but ways that we've really tried to do things that are both mission driven, but also can help us cover cost of programs we want to do or generate revenue for our program. And always feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions, but happy to answer questions now.
Emily, before I get to Jennifer's question, there was a question about, have you had any issues with people who are unhoused and the photo booth?
No. And so that was one of our number one concerns, was that it would essentially become someone's home. And that's never happened since we've had the photo booth out. One of the keys to that, I think, is the height of your curtain. So don't put curtains all the way to the ground. Like, you want to have some that you can see a little bit of what's happening with people's feet. But I think because we put it in a high traffic area where there are a ton of eyes on it, that's what has helped, because it's not necessarily in a comfortable place, even if it provides shelter to sit and hang out. But it also gets used a lot. So people don't, want to hang out there because people are constantly coming in and out of it to take photos.
Awesome. Thank you. Jennifer?
So 2 questions. One about the photo booth. Is it weatherproof? You say you have it in a high traffic area and it has to have a power source. Does it have to be under an awning? And then my second question is, with the Rent the Marquee, what does that application process look like for that? And how do y'all handle freedom of speech?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I'll start with photo booth, and you might have to remind me about the bib. So it does not have to be under a cover. So ours is just out in a park median. And truthfully, when we installed it, we were like, this does not look very weather durable, but I mean, it's really held up well. So I mean, the construction is pretty simple, but it still looks great. We don't have issues with it looking waterlogged or anything like that. So it does have a protective coating on it for paint that helps with those sorts of things. But one of the things I was just texting with David and preparing for this presentation, that he's changed the material some too, but we were talking about that we do need to revinyl it to have, or do vinyl and wrap it in a way just to make it hold up a little bit better. So his business has definitely grown. So he's been evolving. I think we were one of the first photo booths in the state, thanks to our friends at Fall Line. They wanted us to really have one in downtown and facilitated the connections to have one in our downtown public parks. And then our bib about the freedom of speech. And what was the other question about the marquee?
Just what does the application process look like for that?
Okay. Yeah, so we have an online form that people can fill out with their contact information. They can pay online, and then the message that they're proposing to put on it, because we have to have it. But the way that we wrote our policy, and it's included in the form, is that the message is at the discretion of Newtown before we'll put it up. So we are a private nonprofit, so that helps with I think us legally, and not having to address the freedom of speech quite as much as probably a public entity would. But we have that caveat that has to be at our discretion for approval. And of course, like, if somebody submitted something and paid and we didn't approve it, we would give them their money back.
Yeah. I like that because, again, a lot of downtowns have some kind of signage or something like that, and we don't always think about using what we have as a rental income source. And I think that's a very clever, unique way of, again, passive-ish income. And I also liked what you said about the high yield savings account, because again, it's making your money work more efficiently for you. And if you've got 50, 60, 70, 80 grand just sitting in a bank account, why not just have that money earning money, so I think very good, suggestions. I'm gonna go to the chat because I think people pay for the photos, so that there's a card reader in the booth.
That's
and
right.
Also accepts cardless transactions. Is that correct?
Yes. So they don't have a way to pay by cash or coin. It all has to be done electronically.
Which is good, because then you're not worried about someone trying to break into it and, pry it open and get cash or something like that. So absolutely. Renee.
I put it in the chat, but just wanted to let everyone know that our friends at Fall Line Brewing will be providing another photo booth this year. So there will be an opportunity at the silent auction at the conference, if you like one in your downtown.
Very cool.
And usually what they do is they help do the design. So that's a really great way to get one. So definitely bid on that. All your donations go to a really wonderful cause.
Awesome. Well, we're at the 11 o'clock mark, but we're going to stick around if anybody else has any questions for either Emily or Jennifer. But I want to be respectful of people's time. Thank y'all for being here with us. We're excited to see y'all next month in Thomasville, and we will have this recording posted later on today, along with last month's recording if you missed it. So we appreciate you guys. But if you have more questions for Emily or Jennifer, we're going to stay on for a little bit longer. Make sure that we have an opportunity to get everything covered for everybody. But otherwise, we'll see y'all soon.
Renee, real quick, where I was looking online, where do we find the swag?
I put the link in the chat, but send me an email. I can send you a direct link, or I sent emails out earlier this week. So
it's in my email from this week. Thank you so much. I'll look back.
You're very welcome.
Good day.
Tanya, I saw you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Emily, do you know, like if I was to call David today, what the price would be for one?
Oh, I didn't even say that. Free. So, or not free. He covers 100% of the cost. So the way that it works is that, so this is a revenue generator for him, and you as the organization that hosts the location for the photo booth, you get 20% of the sales from the photo strips.
Oh,
yes.
So we don't have to pay for the photo booth.
That's right. So you don't have to pay.
More appealing.
The only thing you have to pay for is if you want to put a wrap around it or paint it, or, you know, like use it as a branding opportunity for your downtown.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
And he's
that's interesting.
You know, he lets you know if it's not working or it's down, because he wants to make that money too, of course, to be sure that it's constantly able to run transactions. So he's really on top of just like seeing if there are any issues from his back end, and that sort of thing, to contact you locally if you need to reset it and that sort of thing.
Oh, wow. And then like the little strip, like, you guys designed that part, I guess?
So, he has a template, and all we did was drop our logo at the bottom. And so I changed it out for the Christmas lights. Like I put our Christmas light show logo on it during the month of December, because it's right in the area of the Christmas lights. And then the rest of the year, I put the downtown logo. But when he sets it up, he'll like walk you through, all right, here's, you know, the things you need to know. And then he sits down and shows you like how to change out the logo. I end up calling him every time because I can never remember how to do it. And he's great about walking you through instructions. It's really amazing that he can be like, all right, now click this. Do you see this on the right side?
And he's the guy that owns Fall Line?
No, so his business is totally separate from Fall Line.
Okay.
So he just has this business where he installs photo booths. So he'll install them at businesses, and he'll install them downtowns, parks, that sort of thing. But he got connected with Fall Line. They saw a photo booth somewhere else and are like, this is so cool. We would love to have one in Macon. And so they approached us about getting one downtown, and they donated the painting of the photo booth. And then town gets all the profits from it. And I think I just saw somebody ask how much people pay, but it's $5 per photo strip. And then, you know, it's like the classic photo booth where people, you know, have 4 chances to take photos, and you can do different poses, and it does a countdown and all that good stuff.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I do too. And I mean, knowing where it is, Emily, in downtown, I mean, it's pretty resilient, considering like it's not in an, you know, Jennifer, it's not in an overhang. There's no like, I mean, it's out in the elements, but you know, it's really held up really well. So I don't know what magic happens behind the scenes to make that process what it is, but yeah, they've developed a pretty like good product.
Yeah, and he's great. He's really, really easy to work with, super, super helpful.
Myrna, did I see your hand go up?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, maybe I missed it, but what's the annual revenue that you realize from this?
Just from the photo booth?
Yeah.
It's about 10,000 for us. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. I will say too, we have about 850,000 people who walk past it during our Christmas light show. So that, you know, definitely inflates the numbers, I think. But I know Rome, like they have killed it with their photo booth. I think they make more money than we do. So
Yeah, isn't a great spot too for the Christmas stuff. It's like right in the middle of it all. It's perfect.
I have a question for Jennifer.
Mhm.
With your merch, I kind of struggle with finding, like, I don't want to get, like, there's so much stuff out there. Like, what would you say is your top 5 things to start out with as when it comes to like swag?
I would definitely do like a generalized t-shirt. So we actually do t-shirts that cater to our bigger events during the year. But then we also just have a standard t-shirt that we keep in stock, and we change the colors and the sleeve length based on the season. So I would say t-shirts. Hats do very, very well. I'm not a hat wearer, but they do well. Candles are an easy pickup gift. And a lot of people, if they're going to purchase, you know, candles, I'm a candle person in my home. I grab a Hahira candle to take to my house. It says Hahira, it's cute, it smells good. So that would be 3. Stickers are huge. They're a cheaper, smaller ticketed item, but they still sell, and it still is can you really put a price on free marketing is the way I look at that. And then number 5, what would you say is number 5? Cups. Yeah, that's a good one. We have a variety of coffee cups, whiskey glasses, stemless wine glasses, and beer mugs, and they do very well.
Awesome. Any other questions, guys? Thank you both, Emily and Jennifer. This has been great. So interesting. You know, love being able to share this with the network. So we appreciate both of you taking the time to do that with us today.
happy to do it. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely glad to be here.
All right. Well, with that being said, we'll wrap it up. Ellen, myself, and Elizabeth will stay on in case anybody has any Georgia Main Street specific questions. But other than that, we appreciate y'all being here, and we'll see you in Thomasville.